Hey everybody, it's me Marquita, and I am coming on here with an update. Come on. Okay, 1:21 p.m. Dang it, the light was on again. That's why. Okay. What was I saying? Anyhow, I don't. Okay, yeah, I was saying I was coming on here as an update. I did in my last video when I said I'm just gonna go and go to sleep, and I took my Zoop and then put some earplugs in and went to sleep. And one of our neighbors ended up calling 911 at 5 o'clock in the morning. And the firefighters was like, because the alarm was still going off. It's 5 a.m. And so the firefighters came. We told, or Gary, because Gary talked to him. Sorry. I don't like having horses and froggies in my throat. So I don't like sounding raspy. It's only going to get worse the next 4 weeks. Possibly. Anyways. What was I saying? Gary talked to him. And then they were like, it's nothing that we can do. We called emergency maintenance. And they finally came while the firefighters was here because they're like, call emergency maintenance. And Gary said he told them, yeah, the only reason why we haven't is because the last time that this happened, they said it wasn't an emergency. And then the firefighters was like, yeah, if it's going off for no reason, then yeah, that is an emergency. And we weren't the only one that our alarm was just randomly going off. Because, but how they fixed it is how they fixed it the other 2 times they came, replaced the fire alarm, the fire alarms. We need to figure out why they are going off. Because we are on our 3rd. Trying to zoom in. Where am I at? There I am. We're on our 3rd one of them. We only been here since March. They finished building this building in January. Or, yeah. They finished building this said building January 2026. We moved in March 2026. We're the first ones to live in this apartment. So it's not like, oh, maybe they didn't switch it out from the last tenants. It used to be, I'm going to say a football field to the school used to be right here where we are. Because the school is a little farther up. So that's why it used to be a school. And so where our apartment sit, I'm thinking it's around either the lower end of the football field where that would have been, or it was a part of the actual school building. My point of it is, where we're at, it did not used to be apartments. So why is the why is the fire alarms malfunctioning? Not only in our apartment, in the other apartments. Why did our um stove, the oven part of the stove, it broke in April. They fixed it in June. In June is when they came and fixed it. These are brand new stoves. Brand new, like it is a stainless steel, smooth top, the smooth top, and it's an electric oven. It's not a gas. But our stove will go up to like 150 and cut off. 100 cut off. 150 cut off. But they finally came and fixed it. But it's like, okay, we're the first one that had the stove, but our stove wasn't the only one. So I'm not saying that the stove and refrigerator company, because it's the same, it's a set. So I'm not going to say the brand that it is. I'm not going to say that they have trash. Oh, and the dishwasher. Like our dishwasher still works. But all three of them are the same brand. So if something happens to our, because we were here for, like our very first night here, we went to get ice and our ice had black specks on it. And we're like, what is that? So then we took it out and we dumped it out. And then we called them the very next day and was like, okay, our ice was black. And they go, oh, yeah, what you got to do is you got to, like, let it make ice, throw that batch away, put it back in, and then it'll make another batch of ice. And then you throw the second batch away, but the third batch should be okay. But what it is because the refrigerator was never used. The charcoal filter in it, with it being set since January-ish. Like I'm saying January-ish because that's when they finished building, was in January. So I don't know if they didn't put it in till February. My point of it is when we came and looked at the apartment, like it was here, like everything was here, the refrigerator, stove, and dishwasher. So, yeah. So, but it never was used. So that was that. So we fixed it, and then it went out to where it the ice maker wouldn't work, and so then he came up. He was like, okay, well, if it starts working again, do this and that. Okay, bet. So did that. It worked. And then it stopped working again. We did what he said. And then it didn't work. So we called them. 3 days later, they came and fixed it. Okay. Like I said, then that's when the stove went out. They came and fixed it in June when it broke in April. End of April, I'm going to say. Yeah, it was the end of April when it broke or stopped working. It stopped going past, it wouldn't go past 150, let me say that. Because the eyes, it would work. Like on top, the top stove would work, but the oven would not work. And then the alarms in between all them times, when we called them the first time, they came to just replace the fire alarm. Then we called them again when it was going off. They replaced it again. And then last night, it was going off, and I literally have it on video of it just randomly going off every 10-ish minutes. No reason. No reason. But we wasn't the only one last night. It was multiple different apartments, not even in our building, in different buildings. So it's like, okay, so why is our alarm going off? And I was asking Gary, I wanted him to tell the firefighters so that the firefighters can, if we need for them to say, okay, I went in, there was no smoke, there was no fire, like, and if outside knows maybe there's a gas leak that we're not smelling, like, that's what I'm saying. So it's like, okay, if it's a gas leak, because we're in a house, we're going to get used to the smell. Why is there a fire? I mean, why is there, like, and what in this what in this building runs on gas? I don't know. I know that, like, I don't know what everything runs on. I was assuming electricity, but let's say that some things do run on gas, on natural gas. Okay, well, what about our, I think our water heater is electric. I'm not for sure. I don't know, but that door is locked. So if it's leaking or anything, we won't know because we can't get into that room. Like, it's literally locked with a key. I guess so people don't steal the water heater. Okay, but what if it starts leaking on the ground? We know how they don't like to come until hours and days later. Like, I know, what am I going to do if it does start leaking? Exactly what I'll do if I could get in there. Nothing. Because I don't know how to fix I don't know how to fix no water heater. It's a good thing we don't have, like, gas, propane, like Pilot Light, because if it goes out, we can't go in there to restart it. Back in 03, I lived in the older part of one of the other apartments across town when I was 19, and that one had a Pilot Light. And instead of calling maintenance, it was like, okay, well, I mean, we got one of them long lighters because the guy I was with, he smoked cigarettes. I didn't smoke, but I could if I wanted to, but I didn't. But yeah, so we had that, and anytime it went out, we just lighted ourselves instead of calling maintenance. And I know that was dangerous, but we did it. It was 03. I was young and dumb. So now old me, I'll be like, okay, because the reason why I'm making this video is, one, to update, and then two, also, is because this is why I try to do things my own self, because it took them almost 3 months to come and fix the stove. And what did we do? We worked around it. That's how I did back then. And they go, well, you got to keep calling us. Okay. Y'all knew that the stove didn't work. Y'all knew that. Y'all knew months and months and months. We call and tell you about the fire alarm, and y'all say, oh, that's not an emergency. It's not a maintenance emergency to where they need to get out of bed. They need to get out of bed and come and see why the fire alarm is randomly going off. But see, if I wouldn't call them and I would fix the situation my way, and that would be trying to figure out how to stop it myself, they would have been like, well, why didn't you call us? Because I know that you weren't going to come right then and there. So why would I call emergency maintenance when I have before? And then y'all tell me, oh, that's not an emergency. It's not an emergency for the fire alarm to be going off at like 11 o'clock at night on a school night. And I have 2 school age kids. Yeah. Did you finish?
Yeah, I'll send you
All right, let me show the people. It's so cute. Well, I don't want to put them on right now. I put them on later, but they're so cute. Them are my posty nails. Hannah made.
Oh, and right now, whenever you want to put them on, just tell me because I'm working on the check.
Okay. So yeah. Because when I was at that other apartment, not the one we just moved from, but the one before that one, like I said, Hannah had to literally walk around with an eye mask on. Because I keep telling them, I have a child that has seizure disorders, plural. She has different seizures. And it's medically proven. It's not just me saying, oh, da da da. No, it's medically proven. And so she can't be around probing light, like flashing lights. But we can't cut that off. Because they're like, oh, it's for safety. Okay. But it's also for health reasons that I need that to be off. Like I can hear, like I understand if we cut it off and it cut it off for the whole building so it wouldn't flash. But for this apartment, I need the probing lights off, not the fire alarm, just the lights. Because I have a child that's epileptic. And they said we can't turn them off because it's against the health regularization. Okay, well, it's against my child's health regularization also. I think that should be illegal for them to force us to have to keep the flashing light on. Because we have an epileptic person in this apartment. I'm not saying cut it off for the whole building, just my apartment. That's all I'm asking. I'm gonna drink my coffee. And I'm gonna look at videos. But I just want to update y'all.